Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 35 of Backstage. I am your host, Ian Greenman, and today we will be talking about theater. We will be talking about how I found theater, the shows I've done, my favorite show, and just experiences I've had in these shows that I've done, and just telling fun stories about it. So let's get right into it. All right. First, I would just like to say I've been doing theater for, I want to say 4 to 5 years now. I think it's like 5 years. And it's just such an amazing thing. I really found myself when I joined theater. Before I did theater, I was bullied a lot as a kid. I was bullied from kindergarten all the way to like 6th grade until I joined drama in the 7th grade. And I really made my friends and found the people I wanted to hang out with in 7th grade. I made some of those friends that I've made. I'm still best friends with till this day. Shout out to my friend Emily, my friend Caroline, my friend Ava. Oh my gosh, I love them all. If you're watching this, hello. But I did theater with them, and it was just such an amazing experience. In the 7th grade, I did Aladdin Junior. That was my first ever show, and I was just a normal ensemble person. It was such an amazing experience for me. I had so much fun, and after the show ended, I was like, I'm definitely doing this again. And in the 8th grade, I did the same exact thing. I joined the drama club again. It was Beauty and the Beast was the show, and I just auditioned for the normal ensemble role. I eventually actually got the role of Maurice. For those of you who don't know, Maurice is the dad of Belle. Belle is the main character in the show, and we worked on the show for about 8 months, and about 7 months after working on the show, the director calls an off-book date. And that is when all the actors are required to not have their script. They're required to not have their script on stage. And they're required to learn all their lines and memorize all of them and the blocking and the lyrics and the choreography and all that fun stuff. And I had that down. I was the role of Maurice, like I said, and I had all that down. I knew everything like the back of my hand. I eventually actually knew some of the other lines of the other characters as well, just because I've heard it so many times. And and that's a really good thing in theater, I think. But after doing that show for 7 months, it was the off-book day, and I was super excited for rehearsal until the first 5 minutes of rehearsal. My director comes over to me and she says, "Hey, so the Beast quit, and we need you to be the Beast. Are you willing to read the lines for him?" And I was like, oh my goodness gracious. Yes, of course I would love to do that. I mean, I was so happy. This was, again, I just want to remind everybody, this is my first ever role and my second ever show. Like, this is a big deal for me. And little old me, I'm like 13, 14 years old. No, I'm 13 years old. And I'm geeked out. I'm like so happy. And I remember learning all of that choreography, all of those lines, all of that blocking, every last thing I learned in a month. Like, excuse me, in a month. I mean, that was just so much fun, and I really had a good time. After that show, I was devastated, and the high school I was going to, I knew they didn't have a drama club, so I joined a theater in Stamford, Connecticut during the summer. It was Curtain Call over in the Sterling Farms golf course. I did Beauty and the Beast actually as that show that summer after that show, except it wasn't junior. Again, I was just a normal ensemble member this time. That was so much fun. And then the next following summer, I did the show Holiday Inn by Irving Berlin. That was so much fun. One of my favorite shows, I think. Very great show that I've done. My favorite show that I've done, I think. And then after that, I applied for the board of Curtain Call, the summer youth theater at Curtain Call. And I surprisingly got in for my first year. And when you're on the board, you have to get minimum 50 hours of work hours and bake sale hours. And I think so far, after being on the board for only 4 months, I think I've already gotten about 66 hours, I want to say, somewhere around there. It's definitely in the high 60s. And I did that by just doing a bunch of audition hours and crewing hours. And I did 2 shows by crewing just in this past 4 months. In December, I did a show called White Christmas, also by Irving Berlin. I love that guy, Irving Berlin. He is such an amazing writer and composer. All of these his shows are based in like 1940s, 1950s, 1960s. So it's definitely one of the older shows. But my God, is he good? I mean, all of these shows are just excellent. Especially the music, I think it's just great. And especially since Irving Berlin, most of his songs kind of repeat, like in Holiday Inn and White Christmas. Both songs, White Christmas and Blue Skies, are also in it. I don't think there's any more songs that correlate or kind of are in the same shows, but such a great show. I did White Christmas, and then after that, I want to say in February, I did a show called Urinetown. I think that's like my second favorite show. Although I only crewed for it, I did Spotlight for both of those shows. But only doing Spotlight, it was one of my favorite shows I think I've ever done at Curtain Call. That was my third ever show at Curtain Call. No, fourth ever show at Curtain Call. And my gosh, was it great. Urinetown is, if you haven't watched it or listened to it, I would strongly recommend you go see it or listen to it on Spotify or anywhere music is streaming. It is such an amazing show. It's such a unique show as well. It's narrated, and it's just a very funny show. The whole show is based off of a drought in the future, about 40 years from now, where basically a drought comes in, causing all private bathrooms to basically not be able to work. And so everyone has to use this one public bathroom, and this rich guy decides to charge all of the townspeople to pee, and if you pee without paying, you get arrested. That's basically it. That's kind of all you need to know. I'm not going to spoil any more of that, but it's such an amazing show. It's a very unique show. That's why it's one of my favorites. It's just so unique. But yeah, I think theater is just such an amazing thing. I'm so glad I did it, and I don't think I would be the person I am today if I didn't find theater. So in recap of today's episode, I just want to say theater is just such an amazing thing. I told you guys the backstory about how I found theater, some funny stories about what happened in theater. And I met so many great people as well in theater. If you're looking for something to do, strongly recommend go seeing a show, acting in a show, going audition for a show. Anything that involves a show, I would strongly recommend trying to get involved in some way or another, whether it's supporting one of your local theaters, maybe even joining it to act or sing or anything, crewing, anything. Strongly, it's a great community. But yeah, you've tuned in to Backstage episode 35 with your host Ian Greenman. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in episode 36. Let's hit that commercial break, shall we?